I don't think there was ever an era where Luda was a top tier threat.
You can be more than one thing and still be a problem.
It's Grown Man Bars. I'm your man, Chad. That is Big Absolute. Tonight, Luda's legacy is on trial. 3 1-minute rounds, 0 ties, 0 feelings. You decide the winner. Let's get to work. BA, Luda is an entertainer first. It comes from being cut from that Southern cloth. One thing that Southern rappers really love to do is to entertain people. That's where we like to have our music. Luda's style is built for that. To be big, to be loud, to be bold. I think he was always built to move crowds and not to challenge top tier lyricists. And that is not any disrespect, because when people describe Luda, they talk about his personality. They never use the phrase, don't want smoke. That's my first point. I'll turn it over to you.
But what I'm hearing, because Denzel Washington was voted sexiest man alive once or twice, trying to say he can't act. You can be more than one thing and still be a problem in more than one area. We have been lulled to sleep by this whole entertainment situation. If he's an entertainer, he can't be a lyricist. Or he can be lyrical as an entertainer, but he ain't like one of them elite problem. Because we're so used to elite rappers being boring. How many elite rappers would you pay to sit at a concert and watch a 2-hour set? People who are full of, what we consider elite. So this is what I say about my man, Luda. As an artist, Luda has convinced the world that he is not a lyricist while being extremely lyrical in the way he goes about his business. If you take away the joke, all you got left is bars.
One of the other main points that I feel about Ludacris's career is I don't think there was ever an era where Luda was a top tier threat. I'll use an example. Jay-Z did the No Hook song on the American Gangster soundtrack, and he had a bar in there that was right around not too long after what I'd call Luda's peak as far as hip hop goes. And he said, I'm more Frank Lucas than Ludacris, and Luda's my dude. I ain't trying to diss. I didn't bring that up to say Jay-Z diss Luda or anything like that. I don't think that's any kind of like serious bar. But it brings up my point about not being a top tier threat, because I don't think people loosely throw around lines like that about other rappers if they really consider them a big threat. I feel like Luda's time was more about runs and moments. He had runs of features or moments around albums. Only popping up in moments or runs isn't the consistency I want to see before I call somebody elite.
My second point is dead at you. I thought Luda's acting job in his first go around was great, but it still was the standard black actor role for your first role. The move to Hollywood seems natural. I'm not arguing the fact that Luda is an entertainer. He is. There's been several rappers who moved into the actor role and it just fit nicely because the role made sense. I don't believe you have to be some super lyrical person to be an elite lyricist. I believe you have to have a lane, and I believe that your bars have to have substance. They have to have style. And if you strip down the bar, does the punch land? Does the metaphor make sense? I believe you can be elite and be an entertainer. I don't think it's that big of a stretch. So being an elite lyricist just means that you're a better rapper than most. Not the best rapper, just better.
I don't deny that Luda has shown that he's got that kind of skill. I'm saying he never lived in it. Like, that wasn't the main thing he did. He lived off use a hoe, and songs that took creativity, but not necessarily elite lyrical skill to pull off. They were hilarious and some of my favorite ones. That lane is an important lane in hip hop. I love it. But I think that's where he chose to live. And I feel like the guys that we call real rap problems, guys and girls, sorry, they're ones that live there all the time. The ones that had their eras, that were able to stay in that spot all the time because that's where they wanted to live. I don't think there was an era where we ever argued that Luda might be the greatest of all time. I'm not saying the greatest of all time has to be elite, but I'm just saying when we get to elite, we're getting closer to greatest of all time. And it is probably a 90s era reaction from me to want to protect that like that. I say I hate gatekeeping as much as anybody else, and then I turn around and I do it just as much as anybody else. So I'll turn it over to you. But it feels like to me, if we start ranking rappers based on what they potentially could have done, then I feel like our generation is giving out the participation trophies. And it's almost disrespectful to put them next to the guys who actually did do it on a regular basis. And I'll rest.
Is Luda a top 10 rapper in the South? Just something you ponder. Region biased is the same thing that helped his career but hurt him in this status, because overall we take maybe 5 total rappers for the entire South and give them enough respect to have the greatest of all time conversation. Some of the rappers that we believe are top tier lived in that lane because they couldn't move out of it. Now, like you said earlier, whether it was by choice or not, when Nas did You Owe Me with Genuine, that was a radio track, but everybody thought it was a Genuine song with Nas on it versus a Nas song with Genuine on it. As long as Nas is doing one mic and things like that, he's Nas. People forget, as lyrical as Jay-Z was, It's a Hard Knock Life still existed. You took a Shirley Temple track. You know what I'm saying? That's not gangster. But we didn't look at him for that. And other artists had done it as well. We shouldn't move the goalpost on an artist who was able to move and dominate in entertainment and was able to do it with a lyrical style that granted him opportunity to hop back and forth. I can be lyrical and I can put out tracks like War with the God, or I could put out Move, Bitch, Get Out the Way. I could do either. And to me, that's more elite than somebody who can't do multiple things. That's all I'm saying. I said what I said.
All right, so that's it, y'all. That's 3 rounds on Luda's legacy. You tell us. Vote on all 3 rounds. Drop down in the comments. Tell us what we missed. Tell us what we got wrong. There's a lot in Luda's career to talk about. So please do that. Like, subscribe, rate, review, follow, do all of that good stuff. I can't tell you how much it helps us out. So thank y'all for being here. We will catch y'all next week. I'm Chad, that's BA.